was a Dallas Cowboy dominant.
Does anybody else see the
Discussion.
irony that three of the players I call fat are all in the same city? You got fat Devin Funchess, fat Jamal Williams, and who's the other?
Fat A.J. Dillon.
Fat A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon's not fat, and I would never say it to his face because that dude would whip my ass.
You're just stuck in the mode after fat Jamal Williams.
You know what's funny? After I can't believe I'm going to say this, and you know what? This will segue into something else we were going to talk about today. One of the things, so we're doing previews of every position going into the draft and free agency and all those things. I'm not going to be here next week because it's my birthday, and I like to take weird weeks off because this is probably the worst week I could have taken off in the history of time. Between the NCAA tournament, free agency kicking off, the Wednesday that I'm going, you'll see a lot of my face on my phone. That's about the best I can do. But I will say there's a running back that I have been hard on for many years that I have kind of changed my tune on.
Okay.
And that's fat Jamal Williams. I think fat Jamal Williams is going to get more money than you think he is. And I could see him being a starting running back in the NFL next year.
That sounds crazy.
What? Okay. All right. And here's why I say that. There's your list of running backs that are on the free agent market. That's my top 9. Aaron Jones, I could see being tagged today. There's a better than zero chance he gets tagged. Mm-hmm. Or they're just going to take their chances. If he hits the free agent market, he will be a Miami Dolphin. You mark my words.
Yeah.
Then it gets very Chris Carson, Kenyan Drake, Mike Davis, Leonard Fournette. You know what all 4 of those guys have in common?
What's that?
None of them are real good catching footballs. Mm-hmm. Jamal Williams ain't that bad. Jamal Williams is probably the most all-around back on the free agent market. And I will say I have a belief in Le'Veon Bell.
Still?
I do. I think in the right situation, Le'Veon Bell can still be good.
I don't think he'll ever be a starter again. I really don't. After New York and after not really playing all that much in Kansas City.
That's because he's a running back coming into Andy Reid's system. Mm-hmm. That's an overplayed. Do you know how hard it is to pick up that system when you've never been in it?
I agree.
He probably, by the end of the season, he had probably mastered 20% of the offense.
Right.
And I might be being nice on that. Le'Veon Bell, I actually want him to be higher. And he will be because I think Mike Davis goes back to Carolina. Kenyan Drake probably goes back to Arizona, but I'm not positive.
There's one guy that's not on your list, and he gets left off of every list, and it's Marlon Mack. Is he done?
Well, he just blew his knee into a billion pieces.
So? I mean, we've seen guys blow their knees out and come back and be good.
Name me a running back. Name me a running back. I'll wait.
Todd Gurley.
No.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
What?
Todd Gurley's knees turned into fucking shredded deli meat. Todd Gurley's not in my top 20.
I think that proves Jeremy's point.
Yeah, I think you just Ron had I think you just proved my point. Todd Gurley right now would be lucky if he could outrun me.
Todd Gurley blew his knee out in college.
Multiple times. And then it kept happening, and he's been injury prone as fuck.
And earned one of the biggest contracts in history.
Yeah, because he had 1 year. That's it.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, you know how old he was when he did that? He was 20.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, Marlon Mack's not 20.
I get there's an age difference there, but Marlon Mack's what, 26?
I don't know how old Marlon Mack is.
He's
older than you think he is.
I want to think he's in that 26 range.
He's 25.
25. There you go.
I had it the wrong way. He's younger than you think he is.
Yeah. He's 25 years old. He's coming off a knee injury, sure, but before the knee injury, I mean, he was going to be, I thought, he was going to be the feature back in Indianapolis this year.
Mm-hmm. He's fine. I don't have a problem with him.
Yeah, but
here's my problem
it's like everybody's just forgetting that he's out there because of the injury.
I didn't forget.
Okay.
I knew he was out there.
Because
here's my problem with Marlon Mack. He's been in the NFL for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
If you do the math, that means he could have played in 64 games. You know how many he's played in? 40.
Mm-hmm.
That's frightening for me for a running back because running backs don't tend to get healthier.
Mm-hmm.
Running backs age like cheese.
Okay.
Real good the first day, it starts to wear out quick.
Yeah, when it comes to guys who are on the free agent market that could have a starting role next year for somebody, he's number 1 on my list.
Number 1.
That's dumb. As long as Aaron Jones is the thing, he shouldn't be number 1 on.
Well, I discount Aaron Jones because I think,
If you're about
That's
to say,
obvious.
I think he's going to get franchised, then you know more than every beat writer in that city because nobody knows shit.
No, I'm not saying that I know he's going to, but if I were them, that's what I would do. I would franchise him. $8 million for Aaron Jones is a hell of a deal, in my opinion.
I mean, I would too.
Okay.
But I'm not really worried about what it is that I would do. I care more what they're going to do.
But
And nobody has a good read on that right now.
But I would have Marlon Mack ahead of everybody else on this list, other than Aaron Jones.
You'd have him ahead of Chris Carson.
Absolutely.
Cool, you're wrong. You'd have him ahead of Kenyan Drake.
Absolutely.
Cool, you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. Check the stats.
I can. They're up in front of me right now.
Okay.
I mean, how many 1,000-yard years has Marlon Mack ever had in his life?
One.
It's one.
Yeah.
In 2 of his 4 years combined, he's run for less than 400 yards. You're projecting. And I mean, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not paying for a projection. You're not. And he had a horrific knee injury. If you think he's going to come back and be that guy, you're wrong. All right,
Okay.
Here's what you need to know about Marlon Mack. And here's the reason he's not in my top 9. If they really believed in him, would they have used a high-end second-round pick on Jonathan Taylor? You know why? Because running backs don't really matter. And if you've got one that's even average to good, you're not spending a second-round pick on another one. The Indianapolis Colts didn't believe in him. They've used 2 second-day picks on running backs in the last 3 years. Should tell you everything you need to know. His own team didn't believe in him. And I'm not saying he's a bad running back. I'm just saying I'm not. Somebody might get a hell of a deal on him. It ain't going to be me.
Yeah.
I would draft a running back every year of my life. I would never sign one, ever. Because I look at the back end of this list, and to get to 9, I had to include James Conner, who is not good at football.
Mike Davis is another guy on the list that I would. I didn't think that I would have him high on my list, but after this past year at Carolina, he showed me that he can be really good in this league. If he's the feature back, I would feel fine with it.
Marlon Mack?
No, Mike Davis.
I don't like him as a feature back. I love him in Carolina. I think he does what Carolina needs. I'll tell you where I'd love Mike Davis. This is not going to happen, but I would love it. Tennessee. I would love him as that guy that's taking carries away from Derrick Henry. I would be plastered, hammered drunk on that's one of my favorite signings ever. Because he just matches what Derrick Henry does so well. I love Mike Davis. I just don't think you ever will. He has injury issues. He's built like a bowling ball. And in his situation, I don't mind that. I really don't. I said that as a negative with Edwards-Helaire. By the way, just since we're talking about running backs, can we go back to when I was right about that? Everybody talked shit for about an hour, and then they went, oh, fuck. I guess I should have not sent that tweet. Because I went back and... Did I tell you my fun Edwards-Helaire story?
No.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I don't know that I've ever been more down on a first-round pick in my life. I crushed that dude all offseason last year going, no running back that size has ever been real good in the NFL. Well, after week 1, when he terrorizes the Texans, I got added on Twitter about 200 times. I went back and sent them all a message after week 16 like, how you feel about that now? Feel good? That's what I thought. Come at the king, you best not miss. Because on running backs, I don't miss very often.
Right.
I am very good at running backs. Just throwing it out there. And there's one in this draft class that I am hammered drunk on.
And that's Najee Harris?
I like
Travis
Najee
Etienne.
Harris.
Which one?
I like Travis Etienne. I like Najee Harris. Kenneth Gainwell is the one I'm drunk on.
Really?
Kenneth Gainwell is my 3.
Really?
I'm all about Kenneth Gainwell. I mean, everybody knows about Travis Etienne and Najee Harris. I'm not going to tell you anything you don't know. I mean, my God, they were the running backs on the 2 best teams in the country for the last 2 years.
Right.
I don't think you really need my analysis of those 2.
Right.
I'm going to be really honest with you. Watching tape at Memphis, Kenneth Gainwell's better than Antonio Gibson is. And I love Antonio Gibson. He's better. He's better as a 3-down back, and I firmly believe that.
I agree with you.
I do.
That's the one thing that shocks me. I was actually going into this draft class thinking, he's going to do it again, isn't he?
Nope.
Jeremy's going to do it again because I told you last year that Antonio Gibson is the deal. And that he was going to be successful in the next level, and you poo-pooed that. And so I was hoping that Kenneth Gainwell was going to slip past you again because
Nope,
I
not this
like
time.
him as well.
Learn my lesson. Here's my thing.
He's my 4. I've got.
Who do you have ahead?
I've got Javonte Williams ahead of
See,
him.
Javonte Williams and Michael Carter are the same dude to me.
Yeah.
I know they're built different. I know they're the same guy. In terms of what they will be in the NFL, they need another dude with them. I look at Kenneth Gainwell and go, that could be a 3-down back.
He could be a feature back.
I think Kenneth Gainwell could be a 3-down back.
All right.
He's a guy that I think is going to go in the 3rd. There will be multiple running backs that go ahead of him. They shouldn't do it. A lot of people are going to see Chuba Hubbard at 8 and go, I'm wrong. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
What is it about Chuba that's not going to translate?
He's not an every down back. And I don't think anybody could convince themselves that he is. I mean, the frame is fine. You had injury. Let me see if I can put this in words because I'm hemming and hawing around.
Right.
If you have medical issues in the Big 12 where they're allergic to defense, you're not going to hold up in the NFL well. Chuba Hubbard's one of those guys that I think is going to have a tremendous career that lasts about 2 years. He just can't stay healthy.
Right.
And I'm good. I'm not putting draft capital in a running back of a guy that I think could be out of the NFL at 25 years old.
I feel that way about Trey Sermon.
People are losing their shit on Trey Sermon, and it's comical to me.
What do you mean, losing their shit? Like overvaluing him?
Yes.
Yes.
Trey Sermon's going to go ahead of every running back on this screen, not named Travis Etienne and Najee Harris. You mark my words. Remember I said that. He'll go ahead of all of them.
After running for 300 yards in a Big Ten championship game, that puts you on the map.
And it shouldn't.
I agree.
It shouldn't. Because Northwestern sold out in that game to stop Justin Fields. That's why Trey Sermon was so good. Watch the tapes. Not that hard to figure out.
Yeah.
They had 5 guys in the box regularly. Of course he had a big game. Of course he did. And I'm not down on it. Hell, he's my 7. And I love the 6 dudes ahead of him. But calm down on this. He's an every down back in the NFL. No, he's not.
What do you feel about Kylan Hill? He's not on your list either.
He's not. He's a situational guy to me. I just look at him and I think he's a really good receiving back out of the backfield. And I think that's what he's going to be in the NFL.
Absolutely.
He strikes me as a guy that will be Darren Sproulsy.
Okay.
And that definitely has a role. I'm just not necessarily going to put draft capital into that.
I was thinking Kareem Hunt.
No, he's not that good of a runner. Kareem Hunt's really good between the tackles. Let me think. There's a better example on Kylan Hill than the one I'm using. Give me a second on that. I'm flipping through my brain here trying to.
Kylan Hill's a guy that I really liked, and I mean he's been battle tested in the SEC. I mean he played for Mississippi State. They weren't a great team, but I mean he still got his against the SEC defenses. I feel like he is a guy that can, he'll be a good Jamal Williams, complementary piece in an offense.
He's built well, which I'm fine with. I don't know. I look at Kylan Hill. There's some character issues with him too. This is probably not going to be a popular take. I don't do character issues with running backs. You're not important enough for me to deal with you being a knucklehead. I just don't do it.
Right.
And this is a guy that got suspended, opted out. Those are 2 gigantic red flags to me. For me, with a running back, if you have more than 1 red flag, I'm out. I don't give a fuck who you are. Highest rated running backs I've ever had. If you had more than 1 red flag, I'm out. It's just too easy to find them.
Right.
I mean, my God, think about how many running backs in the NFL you look at and go, if you were given the chance, you could be a starting back in the NFL. I mean, think about how deep you get in that. And I'll use my team, LaMichael Pirine. He went in the 4th round last year. He could be a starter in the NFL.
Yeah.
He needs another piece. He needs another guy that can do things. Woo.
Yeah.
Hello.
Thanks.
That scared the shit out of me. I'm not even like that.
I also wonder what his political leanings, I guess, will play into a factor with that. Because remember, he sat out at Mississippi State. He said he wasn't going to play again if the state of Mississippi. Stop it! Trying to do a show in here. Calm it down. All right. But remember, he sat out, said he wouldn't play another down at Mississippi State unless they changed the state flag.
Yeah, I mean, and
they did. And so he's become kind of a folk hero in that sense among college players. So I think, I don't know. I don't know if that will have any effect on how teams evaluate him with all of the other stuff that you said as well.
I mean, I don't think it. I really don't think it will. I think the fact he opted out in the middle at the end of the season will have a bigger issue. Brian asked me in the comments about Stevenson out of Oklahoma. He's very multiple. I have him as a fullback. That would be my knock on him. But I think he can be. He's my number one fullback, if that means anything. Another guy that's not on this screen that I do want to talk about is Demetric Felton from UCLA.
Okay.
He's not on my list because I don't think he's a running back. The NFL listed him as a wide receiver. I list him as a wide receiver. I think he's a slot guy. He was awesome at the Senior Bowl. But a lot of people will see him on lists and see him listed because he did play running back at UCLA.
Right.
He's what Tavon Austin wants to think he is.
Yes. Yeah. He's a Swiss Army knife that does it all.
Yeah, Tavon Austin put out a list of the 10 most productive players in college football, or most electric players in college football history. He put himself at 2.
Yikes.
Go fuck your whole self. But I do like Demetric Felton. There are a few other. I mean, this is a deep running back class. Hey, someone want to go tell him to stop doing that?
Yeah, just poke your head through the hole.
There's a hole in the wall. Just tell him, hey,
Jesus.
Hey, guy, stop it.
Oh, good Lord.
There's 2 running backs out of Louisiana Lafayette. One is Trey Regis. The other one's name is Elijah Mitchell. The drilling is.
Yeah.
We're going to get that handled. Give us just a second. And I like both those guys. Yeah. I think they both can be. They were a 3-headed monster at Louisiana. Yeah. And I think they can be productive players in the NFL. This is a deep running back class.
There are a lot of running backs that are going to have some impact in the NFL. I think, Chuba Hubbard is probably, for me, he's going to be a late-round star for somebody.
I disagree with you.
You don't think he's going to last?
Well, he's not going to be a late-round. He's not going to be a late-round shit. Somebody's going to fall in love with the tape and take him in the second round.
Really?
Oh, God, yeah.
Wow. All right. I was thinking because some of the mocks that I've been seeing have him going like in the 4th round.
There are some that believe that. I'll tell you another drawback on Chuba Hubbard that you don't seem to be putting any stock in. Dude can't pass block to save his life.
That does matter at the next level.
Yeah, like at all. He's awful in pass pro. So that's to me. I think that might push him to the end of the 2nd, beginning of the 3rd. Okay. But I think a team's going to overvalue him. They're going to see him as a back that we can teach him. He can learn in our system. No, he can't.
Yeah.
You couldn't pass block in the Big 12 where defense is optional.
You're not wrong.
I'm good.
So what teams are in the market for a running back? Who's on this list that they have to have a running back?
I look at the Miami Dolphins. They tried the Myles Gaskin thing, and good for you. That was fun while it lasted.
Tried.
I mean, and he's fine. I mean, I don't list. I'm looking at my list of needs in the NFL. I've got I got 4 teams that have running back as a primary need. Right. The Arizona Cardinals are one, and I think they'll take. I think they believe in Chase Edmonds. I just think you need another guy with him.
Agreed.
Whether that's Kenyan Drake, bringing Kenyan Drake back, or taking a guy like a Javonte Williams or a Michael Carter. Michael Carter is the one I would like the best.
That's
because he's a nose down, run your ass over kind of running back.
He'd be a great complement to Chase Edmonds.
I agree with that.
In that offense, I would like that. I would start coming more over to your side if that happens.
The Steelers are obviously going to need a running back. They're a team that they have so many. And they do a really good job of finding these guys late. I mean, I don't think they're bringing back James Conner, don't get me wrong.
No.
But I look at Anthony McFarland. I think they believe in him as a rotational piece. There's another
Benny Snell.
Benny Snell. There's another one still that I'm gleaning over. I'll think of it in a minute.
I can't think of who it is.
They're not a team that strikes me as they're going to use primary draft capital on a running back. Jalen Samuels is the one I was trying to think of.
Jalen Samuel.
The tight end, quarterback, punter hybrid that Jalen Samuels is. And Jacksonville. Jacksonville, I think, needs a second guy with James Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
James Robinson is a very good between the tackles running back. I think he was asked to do too much last year. And with a quarterback in Lawrence that you really got to protect, I think you need a slightly more all-around guy for the pass game. But those would be the biggest ones for me.
Mm-hmm. The Atlanta Falcons, you didn't mention them. They've got to have a running back. They can't rely on Ito Smith.
Yeah, but see, I think Atlanta's actually going to put Atlanta's one of those teams that I think could wind up signing a Chris Carson or Kenyan Drake. They just strike me as that team that's going to see a guy that they can spend $5 million on, and that's what they're going to do. The thing about Atlanta is you've got a quarterback that's 37 years old. So putting a rookie running back behind him that's a cause for concern. And I don't think they're going to do that. Plus, they believe in Brian Hill.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know, but they do.
Did you mention Seattle in that list? Because Seattle's losing Chris Carson.
Yeah,
they got Rashad Penny.
They're stuck with Rashad Penny and DJ Dallas.
Really?
Yeah. Think about how many needs the Seattle Seahawks have. If they drafted a running back in the first 3 rounds, there might be a mutiny. And one of them, and it would be led by Russell Wilson.
And I guess maybe there are some that feel that DJ Dallas can be a successful
He can be a
rotational
piece. That was one of the few picks Seattle had last year that I liked.
Well, he's going to be the only one because Rashad Penny can't stay healthy. Rashad Penny's going to come in and play 2 games and be done.
Keep talking.
What? Am I wrong?
A little bit.
Okay. I don't think so. Rashad Penny has been a complete disappointment for a guy that they took in the 2nd round.
Yeah, you know who Rashad Penny's stat line looks exactly like?
Who?
Marlon Mack.
No.
His game played stat line looks exactly like Marlon Mack.
Really?
So he's injury prone, but Marlon Mack's not.
I didn't say Marlon Mack wasn't injury prone.
No, but you wanted him to be on my little list because he could be a feature back that you feel good about.
Yeah.
He's Rashad Penny with one slightly more productive season. That's it. And he didn't have Chris Carson with him. Marlon Mack's one productive season, he was the only running back with a pulse in the whole damn building. I look at those 2 guys super similarly.
I don't think you should. Okay. The stats may say I'm wrong, but this is where I'm going to do the Jeremy Greene. I don't care about stats. I don't care about stats.
Well, I mean, the stats would lend to you. I'm talking about what they look like on tape.
You think they're the same. You think their talents are comparable between Rashad Penny and Marlon Mack?
How many offensive linemen of the level of Anthony Costanzo or Quentin Nelson has Rashad Penny ever run behind? I'll give you a hint. It's 0. Yeah, I see them as the same dude.
Okay. I do not. And I think Seattle should be in the market.
That's because you play fantasy football, and if they don't put up fantasy football points, then you don't think they're good. And Marlon Mack was a value for you 2 years ago, and you think that means he's good. And it doesn't.
You're not wrong.
I know.